Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, in the times we're living in right now, you got a chance to review things, go back and look at things, because there ain't nothing new coming on, you know what I'm saying? So there you have it. So, it hit me to look at a few of the heavyweights, the main ones that's been, headlining heavyweight news for the last 3-4 years, things like that, the top of the top. And it hit me, first of all, I like most of the heavyweights. You know what I'm saying? It ain't too many heavyweights I don't like or whatever, or not pulling for, basically, unless they were dope. Doping, then, some kind of way, okay, if there's fighters that are not doped and the ones that are doping, I obviously don't want to be fans of the ones that are doping and getting an unfair advantage. But if you leave that out of the equation, pretty much like all of them. But I know one damn thing, there's about 10 of them, heavyweights out there, that I wouldn't be surprised if they were able to win a title, and I mean now. I'm not talking about the future. I got a few of those who I think, will possibly win, be underdogs, and will win in a year or two, or a year and a half or two, that kind of thing. I'm talking about right now, if we got a heavyweight shot, I wouldn't be surprised if they were able to pull it off, right? Let me mention a few of them. And I'm just going to mention some. I'm not going to show no pictures and I just give you the record, more or less, how many times they lost or something like that, and just talk about what you think. First of all, Adam Kownacki. Adam Kownacki, now we know that the heavyweight champion or champion in recess is Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, right? So I think if Adam Kownacki got in a fight with either one of those guys, it's going to be a good fight. Now, this would have been a better argument before Adam Kownacki got beat by Robert Helenius, right? Now people, he got beat by Robert Helenius. Well, Robert Helenius has beaten other people. And Robert Helenius has been beat by people who we call bums, like Johann Duhaupas, right? But he's beaten people like Chisora. So Robert Helenius is, can get you. Now, what is this, the Dark Destroyer? No, or the Nordic Destroyer? I'm getting them mixed up. The Nordic Nightmare. So he's beaten Adam Kownacki. But before that, Kownacki had beaten Charles Martin, who's resurgent, beat Spilka, who a lot of people hadn't beaten Spilka like that. Spilka was probably a tie with Deontay Wilder before getting flatlined. So, and he beat Gerald Washington, then walking them down. So I think, Tyson Fury would have a lot of problems. He'd force Tyson Fury to do a lot of fighting. And Anthony Joshua, too. Anthony Joshua would probably have to get in that same mold he got in against Andy Ruiz Jr. Adam Kownacki would be a problem. I wouldn't be surprised if he were beat Tyson Fury or Anthony Joshua. It wouldn't surprise me. If they would give 5-1 odds, I'd go for Adam Kownacki. Wouldn't be so surprised there, right? Another one is Joseph Parker. But I don't really have to talk about Joseph Parker. I do videos about Joseph Parker all the time. Joseph Parker's only lost 2 fights to Dillian White and Anthony Joshua, and they were both controversial. Joseph Parker is a top heavyweight. I don't even think I have to extend on that. I'm trying to figure out the word right now. But I don't really have to elaborate on Joseph Parker. I think Joseph Parker is a top heavyweight. I think everybody realizes that and knows that of Joseph Parker, right? He's a former champion. So I think he would give Fury or Anthony Joshua a run for their money. He already gave Anthony Joshua a run for their money, but the referee couldn't even speak English. So we know Joseph Parker would be one. That's 2 of them right there. Now, Alexander Usyk, moving up for cruiserweight. It's boxing royalty. Don't get me started about Alexander Usyk. I do a lot of videos about him as well. That's boxing royalty. I'm undisputed in cruiserweight, which nobody is in boxing other than Terrence Crawford does or tried to do. Undisputed. All right? All the other people in boxing that we all exalt are not even trying to be undisputed. He was undisputed and did it in everybody's backyard. Right? So this is 1 division higher, bigger guys, but Alexander Usyk has beaten like Daniel Dubois earlier, so he can handle bigger guys. So if he got in a fight with anybody on planet Earth, I don't think it's an upset too much with Alexander Usyk because of what he's already achieved. Who goes to everybody's backyards and beat them? All these divas that don't even want to go nowhere, right? Those are the ones way up in the pound list. Alexander Usyk is boxing royalty, and I wouldn't be surprised if he beat anybody. Period. Filip Hrgovic is another one. Man, this is baby Vitaly Klitschko, not Vladimir. I got an attitude. I'm thinking from Croatia or Serbia. I'm sorry to get that mixed up because you don't want to do that anymore. But from that area, I think it's Croatia though. Bad boy. And he really, well, in his sixth fight when he fought Amir Mansour and tamed him the way he did that, I know he's a problem for anybody. He's 6'7" and a problem, undefeated, knows how to fight. You're going to have a hard time beating Filip-Hrgovic. And now, I know I could put him on that list where he could fight in a couple of years. No. I think even now, you put him in with Tyson Fury or Anthony Joshua, you're going to have a good fight, and I wouldn't be surprised if he won it. Now, most people will be, well, yeah, of course, of course the champions will be the favorite. I'm not saying that. But I wouldn't be surprised if Filip-Hrgovic got a fight against either one of those guys right now. If he would win it, I wouldn't be like, oh, man, where did he come from? That's what I'm talking about here. Filip-Hrgovic. Here's another guy, smaller guy that moved up, right? Moved up from cruiserweight. Michael Hunter. Michael Hunter right now is probably the heavyweight that is the most underrated and being ignored, right? This guy has come up to heavyweight and beaten big guys, right? His only loss is to Alexander Usyk in the cruiserweight division. He's beaten big guys. I forget all the names of the big guys he beat. He beat Ustinov. Who else he beat? He beat Povetkin and was given a draw. Maldonado. Who else this guy beat? Michael Hunter has come to heavyweight and ran off 5 wins. And everybody knows I'm counting the one with Alexander Povetkin because everybody knows he won that fight too. He is actually supposed to be getting a heavyweight title shot right now. And he's just, some of the people are ignoring him. It's a travesty what's going on with Michael Hunter. I think he should be like the heavyweight sensation right now. He's done it since he's been in the heavyweight division. And I don't care if he was in with Joshua or Tyson Fury. This guy, he doesn't have that much punch power, but he's coming up to heavyweight and still handling his business, taking people out. Matter of fact, right? He's taking people out. He beat an undefeated guy from Russia. I forget the guy's name right now. Beat him too. This guy is not to be ignored, but he is, right? Because he doesn't make that much noise. Even the Povetkin loss, he didn't even make, Povetkin draw. He didn't make too much noise about it. He's one of those guys who just takes it as it comes. But this is a bad dude. When they say the bounty hunter, this is a bad dude. And he should be in most people's psyche, right up there where we're supposed to be talking about Michael Hunter a lot more. But we're not. That means he's dangerous. Yeah, Michael Hunter wouldn't be too big of an upset if he fought either one of those guys, even though he's way smaller than them. But he figures out how to win. That's one of them kind of guys. Another guy is Kubrat-Pulev. Now, Kubrat-Pulev, people ignore whatever, but Kubrat-Pulev has only lost to Vladimir Klitschko. And Vladimir Klitschko was looking good on that day. That left hook kept surprising Pulev. Since then, he hasn't lost, and before then, he hasn't lost. This is a winner. He's older, but if he got in with Joshua, got in with your boy Tyson Fury, I wouldn't be surprised if Kubrat-Pulev some kind of way pulled off that win. This is a great boxer, one of the best jabs in the business, definitely in heavyweight, and you're going to have to beat the guy first, right? You're going to have to beat him first. Now, the last guy is Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder, y'all know I roll with Deontay Wilder just like I roll with Joseph Parker. Bottom line, with that right hand at 42-0 with 41 knockouts before losing to Tyson Fury. And Tyson Fury, for me, is a champion in recess until we figure out what's up with those gloves and Wild Boar Gate. Right? So, right there, Tyson Fury is considered the best right now, no doubt about it. But if Deontay Wilder comes and wins the third fight, or if he fought Anthony Joshua at any time, matter of fact, against Anthony Joshua, I'd still say he's the favorite. Against Tyson Fury, he's not going to be the favorite in most people's eyes because they're ignoring what's going on. Deontay Wilder has a lot of hate, but I would go with Deontay Wilder. I wouldn't be surprised if he beat either one of those guys, and neither would you, to be honest, right? So those are like about 6 or 7 guys. Now, a lot of guys I didn't mention because let me explain this to you. If you were doped, right? Doped means doped. If you're not doped just right now, that's not that means. That means you were doped. Dope means you were doped before. You got an advantage before. You probably won a fight or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 without getting caught doped, which means you've gotten to where you've gotten by being doped. It helped you in training and or fights. So you're not regarded as highly by me as guys that are not doped. And that's not only heavyweights. That goes down to Canelo too. Canelo was doped, right? Twice. So those things are factored in. A lot of people forget those. If we love a fighter, we ignore it when he was doped. So that's why I didn't mention the Jarrell Millers of the world. Jarrell Miller, yeah, of course, he's in any fight. He's 300 damn pounds and doped with a whole lot of stuff in his system. Right? So I didn't mention him. Yes, he's in any fight. And I ain't going to mention him long because he was doped with too much in his system. Louis the Real King Kong Ortiz. Love him, but was doped before. One time with high blood pressure. That one don't count. But before that, he was caught doping, right? Once though, but he was caught. So he's in that group. Regardless, as much as I love me some Louis the Real King Kong Ortiz, and he's been treated unfairly in boxing. Dillian White, doped with a whole bunch of stuff in his system, never have to give up the B sample, and fought a dude doped and didn't tell him. I'm not regarding him that high, but we know Dillian White is still dangerous. Dillian White against either one of those guys, you know, it's a close fight. Dillian White, if he wins, you wouldn't be surprised. Same thing with Jarrell Miller. Same thing with Louis the Real King Kong Ortiz, right? So those three are other three that gives me 10 now of guys who, if they got into a heavyweight fight with Anthony Joshua or Tyson Fury, they would have a damn good chance of winning. And the funny thing about it, if you take out the dope guys, because I even look from the dope guys, I like Louis the Real King Kong Ortiz. Dillian White and Jarrell Miller are only two guys in that whole list that I don't really like that much. I like all from 12 fighters I just mentioned, 10 of them. You like them all because people would think I don't like Anthony Joshua or when I go in on Canelo Alvarez that I don't like them. Actually, you do, but it's not fair. When things are not fair, that supersedes all the other stuff. I don't care how much I like you. It's got to be fair first because I'm the kind of guy that won't cheat at a game of cards. Because at some point I want to win and be able to say I really won. Coach basketball for about 20 years, lower levels, but coaching. And when the bottom line is, when coaching, most of the times you just want to win no matter what. Most players will tell you, don't look at the coach. If I went up there for a layup and nobody fouled me and I'm looking for a foul call, don't look at the coach because he'll be like, he did not foul you. Make the damn layup, right? That's how I roll. So therefore, I'm not into people who are cheating to get an advantage. I'm not going for them. Okay, that's just the way that is. That's just we're going to be fair regardless. Now, some more fighters who we think soon could be, could challenge for heavyweight titles and do a good job. Huey Fury would be one of them. Daniel Dubois would be one. Joe Joyce, not so much because he's so, he's just a stiff type of guy, but he's big. He's a big, and he can take some and give some, which means that's the same reason why I put Wilder-kownacki up there. So therefore, Joe Joyce would definitely be in a big heavyweight fight. Chisora, now that he's come back, Derek Chisora, and he's War Chisora, and he's messing with David Haye. That Chisora is probably a problem for anybody now. You know what I mean? Alexander Povetkin, that's another dope street boy. I don't think he would have a good chance, but he's somebody you would definitely have to mention because of respect. And then maybe Junior Fall, maybe, but those are guys who, it's a little more of a long shot to win the heavyweight title anytime soon, except for Daniel Dubois. I think if you had to pick one, I think Daniel Dubois would be the next one that could do it, and then Huey Fury. After that, it gets a little bit weak. But those are the heavyweights that I think that are in the business right now, that if they got a heavyweight shot right now, heavyweight title shot right now, those guys will be in those fights. And another thing is, while we talk about why we disagree on things and that, actually, when you review yourself after further review, right, you pretty much probably like 10 of the 12 dudes you're talking about. And that's what, you know what that is? You love boxing, just like I do. Doma Sports Talk, worldwide. And I'm about to here, y'all.